So that's it, huh? Season's over for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, kind of expected you to argue with that. Don't really know what to do now.
Hey, what do you want me to say? There's 8 points out of a playoff spot. We got like 5 teams. We got a leap. I mean, we got a couple games in hand, but we just shipped off the best winger that Crosby's ever played with. Season's done, man.
I don't want to be rude, but you're making it really difficult to laugh at you right now. Like I had a whole thing I was gonna do.
Oh, well, excuse me for spoiling the mood.
I said difficult, not impossible. 2 years in a row, you're gonna miss the playoffs? You know you have Sidney Crosby on your team, right? Sidney Crosby, Sid the kid, he's supposed to be really good, I'm told. Generational talent, can't even make the playoffs. Woo! Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is a dub! Wonderful. Beautiful. This game, this team, it's a whole different scenario. Seriously, the past 4 games, 3-0-1, playing good hockey. Damn good hockey. And don't let the shot totals fool you, because, yeah, they took a bunch of shots. And, yeah, Omar came up huge a few times. But the Penguins did not get the better chances. In the third period, here or there, they had some. They were trying to make a push, but no, the Bruins played really good hockey through that one. There was a couple defensive moments that I didn't love, but for the most part, that's a really good hockey game by a really good hockey team that's playing really good hockey right now. Team's waking up. You love to see it. The slump is a thing of the past at this point. Please let that continue. And hopefully this is a stretch where we start heating up just at the right time. And we get to be... I know this isn't fun when you talk about your team's chances and things like that and how the deadline went and all these other teams loading up. But it is genuinely more fun watching the playoffs as the underdog team. Because, one, the expectations aren't really to win. Obviously, I expect us to win. We're the Boston Bruins. But the real expectation is we'll see what happens, right? And B, you don't really have to worry about any sort of embarrassment factor, right? Your team is the underdog. Whatever happens, there's just no pressure. You just get to watch the guys do their thing. Of course, you're nervous. Of course, you want it. You want it more than anything ever. But at least there's no external pressure coming down of people like, how are you not thrashing this team or whatever? No, you just get to vibe out. And it looks like if we're heating up at the right time and we get to go into the playoffs and vibe out, hey, we might be favored in the first round. I don't know. That's still up for debate. But I really like the way this team is trending right now. And it's nice to see the third period comes and the team doesn't change their play style. Took way too long for that to start happening. Either way, this Penguins team, with Gensel out and Rust, of course, still out for injury, but Gensel got traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm pretty sure you already know that at this point. Most of you do. This team has waved the white flag on the season. They are, 8 points out of the second wild card with 3 games in hand. Now 2 games in hand and still 8 points out. Oops, was that? So they... have 4 teams to pass to get up there, and losing one of their best players at the deadline feels like the season is done. And for Crosby, that sucks, if you're Crosby. Or the rest of the guys on that team, I guess. For the fans, they're probably like, hey, that's fine. Let's lose as many games as possible and get a better pick at this point. I think those fans understand where they are. Oddly enough, this is a Penguins team we're not used to. This season they have struggled to score, but they're really good at defense. They're top 10 in PK, top 10 at goals allowed per game. They are bottom 10 in power play and bottom 10 in goals scored per game. They are 4-5-1 in their last 10. We played them once this season where we lost 6-5, where there were 5 goals in the first 7 minutes of that game between both teams. It does appear that they made one major mistake, though. Now, Nedeljkovic wasn't great in this game. But he's had a pretty solid season as a backup behind a team that's really not been excellent. So I really thought, as him being a pending UFA, they would have traded him this deadline. Really surprised that he didn't get moved. My guess, this is a total guess with zero information, is if Ullmark had been traded, Nedeljkovic would have been brought into the Bruins. They would have used some of that space and whatnot to bring him in as a backup to Swayman. I really think that was on the table. Didn't happen, and I'm surprised that they didn't move on from him just as an asset who's just going to expire and go elsewhere. I thought they could have gotten something for him. For the Bruins, we have our lines: Marchand, Coyle, DeBrusk, Heinen, Zacha, Pasternak, JVR, Geeky, Frederick, Lauko, Boquist, Brazeau, Grizz, McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo, Lohrei, Shattenkirk, Ullmark. No changes to the forwards. Maroon is not getting brought in yet. Again, he's on LTIR for the next couple of weeks as he recovers from back surgery. There is no change on defense other than Lindholm has recovered. So he is back. Lohrei gets moved down to the third and Wotherspoon gets bumped out. That's a bummer, but if Wotherspoon and Shattenkirk are going to trade off, that's fine by me. If Wotherspoon and Lohrei are going to trade off, that's fine by me. We'll see how it goes, how it's handled. But I feel pretty comfortable with either of those, even with my last statement on Lohrei last game review, which we might have a little conversation about Lohrei again today. We'll see how it goes. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Thank you to the high-quality inspectors. We gained a couple new ones as well during the live stream. We did a 6-hour live stream for the trade deadline and then did a little recap video after that. But the most important thing is what we're going to talk about now, which is the game. Puck drops! First period starts. 3:30 in, and it's been mostly the Pens. And you got a little worried. I know you did, because you're like, oh no, the Penguins aren't good, and they're likely to be worse now, and we just got done playing 3 games against teams that are good. Are we doing the whole, we're just going to play to the level of whatever team we play? We weren't, but there is a great chance for them early. Bunting gets behind McAvoy for no reason. I don't know why McAvoy allowed it, but he did. Great pass, breaks him for a breakaway, and Ullmark is going to make the snag glove side. This would set the tone, because for the rest of the game, and for the rest of the period, that's one of 2 notes this whole period. For the rest of the period, Ullmark told the Pens to shove it, to take whatever they think is going to work and shove it right up their bums, because it's not happening. You can try, it's not happening. Ullmark was brilliant. Now, there's a lot of volume to the shooting of the Pens, and a lot of it was nothing, right? Stuff that you would certainly expect Ullmark to take care of. But there were 8 or 9 really, really nice saves in this one. That's a kind of high number, right? Because if you're talking 8 or 9 really nice saves, 8 or 9, well, you're telling me like 6 of those could have been a goal? Yeah, probably. That is what I'm telling you. Either way, great job by Ullmark. 1:13 left of the period. Marchand's going to go for tripping. We're going to the penalty kill. The refs, for at least the first period, nothing mattered to them. I was really surprised this was called just because literally nothing had mattered to them. It was really weird. We're going to kill that off starting in the second period. We still have 45 seconds left of it to kill. We do kill it. And then 2:26 in, the boys are killing me because it's a 3-on-2. Right before this big moment that I'm going to talk about, but it's a 3-on-2. It develops for the Bruins, and DeBrusk on the right side, back diagonal pass to Shattenkirk, leaves him wide open in the slot. He pauses, he cowers, he doesn't shoot. He sends it over to Zacha. If Zacha can't redirect the hard pass on net, it just bounces behind the net. I know how the play ended. If you're alone in the slot, shoot the puck. Just shoot the puck. That should be a rule. Tattoo it on your forearm so you can just kind of look at it whenever you need to. That's a good rule. Zacha and DeBrusk are going to retrieve it, and DeBrusk is going to skate around to the right side of the net with the puck. And he's going to see that Pasta, hey, if someone isn't going to shoot, Pasta's going to show up so he can show you how it's done. Perfect pass, tape to tape. Pasta unloads this, and it does take a deflection off of, I believe, Bemstrom's stick, but it ends up being a Nedeljkovic blocker side. It's 1-0 early in the second period. Let's see how we keep going. Because right now, we're all in the sense, we're still a little hurt. We're still a little, still a little fragile. How do you react right after you score? Well, we react well. They just go back to work. And they end up drawing a penalty about 5:46 in. So we're going to go for a power play because of Ludwig's holding call. And on the power play, it's terrible. It's awful. It's horrendous. But there is a bad change by the Pens that lead to a great chance for Jakey from the slot. He goes crossbar and out. Jake DeBrusk is back on his shit. He is finding open ice in the offensive zone over and over again brilliantly. 8:29 left. Coyle, high-sticked again by Raquel. It wasn't called earlier, but that's fine. We're going to the power play. 10 seconds into it. A Coyle backhand chance from the low slot goes bar and out. It was our third iron and out of the game. It's a 1-goal lead. I'm just saying all the superstitious stuff that we have, that's me. I'm sitting there going, that's a lot of iron to not extend a lead. Sounds like that's going to be something we're talking about after the game. It's not. It's actually not going to be something you need to talk about after the game. Because Morgan fucking geeky. I got to stop swearing. I got to stop swearing. I don't have to do anything. There's a fly. I didn't get it. Oh, Morgan Geeky, minute 10 into the power play. We're set up. We're buzzing. Geeky is going to take the puck, and he's going to shatter a stick with it. Loads up on a shot. Graves gets the block, but it breaks the stick, so it turns into a 5-on-3.5 rather than a 5-on-4. We're going to retrieve the puck. Zacha gets it. He flings it right back up to Geeky, who's on that right side of the slot. He sees Zacha set right back up, standing to the left of Nedeljkovic. It's a perfectly... The kind of pass where it's just soft enough, but also just hard enough, right to the tape of Zacha, who gets to deflect it, glove side. Nedeljkovic gets a lot of it, but not enough of it, and it's 2-0 on a power play goal. Geeky is hitting his stride. We like that. $1:35 left. Ullmark continues to snuff out any hope Pittsburgh had. Couple big saves, and then we go down and put nails in the coffin. Directly after a big save by Ullmark, we're going to go down and put the puck into their zone. They're going to retrieve, they're going to fling it right back out, but they fling it right back out and get the bravado to go take a line change. But unfortunately, we push it right back in. It's a terrible, slow line change by the Pens. Coyle comes down the left side, crisscross with Marchand. As Marchand moves over to the left and Coyle just leaks over to the right, he's going to fling this puck down to him. The defenseman got caught up watching Coyle for some reason. Marchand goes right around him, dekes in on Nedeljkovic, and then roofs it glove side in tight. And it is 3-0. Talk about a nail in a coffin. But here's the difference. Is you're going in the third period. We've said this a couple times the last couple games. 3-0. You have a 3-goal lead. Don't allow an early one. Don't let them shake you. Well, 2:51 in. Here we go. You can't stop this one, right? Face-off win by Crosby on our left circle. Goes directly back to the deep left point for Letang. Letang loads up. I hate to say it for other teams, but Sniper-Rooney and cheeks! That's a glove side posting in from distance. About as much distance as you can in the offensive zone. Ullmark never even gets to see the shot. He doesn't get the luxury of getting to see it. Nothing you can do there. It's 3-1. But it's not about how it went in. It's about the fact that it did early in the third, and everyone just goes, we're not going to do that thing, right? We stopped doing that thing for a little while. We're not going to do the thing where we give back all those goals and then go to overtime, right? We don't, thank God. 10:25 left. Lindholm intercepts a Peterson pass. A quick, beautiful breakout. Marchand down the left side, and DeBrusk plays this perfectly. Just beautifully. Because it is a 2-on-2. But Peterson stays in line with his defensive partner that's closer to Marchand. The only issue with that is Peterson's not covering anybody. And a smart forward who is playing this 2-on-2 goes, well, I could skate up and be parallel with Marchand, but then I'm covered by that donkey over there. What if I just hit the brakes a little bit? And you have this perfect back diagonal space. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. This is a common play in hockey. But the next time you see a 2-on-2 and you see a guy forcing his way to the net when he has all this space behind him, you know to just say, if he just hit the brakes, it doesn't only free him up, but it opens an actual passing lane to him. There's no one there. Back diagonal pass by Marchand. DeBrusk buries this low glove. It's 4-0. And it's just a smart play. And it's smart hockey. And it's a play that DeBrusk knows I put myself in the position, I shoot right away. It's a confidence thing, and it's back with him. That's all I'm trying to point out. That's all I'm trying to say. 4:27 left. Great pass. 4-1. I said 4-0. I wanted to ignore their goal. 4-1. 4:27 left. Great pass by Pasta in the neutral zone to lead Heinen. It's perfect into the left corner. Heinen collects, stutter steps to free up a little bit of space, then goes around the net and sees that there comes Pasta again. Might as well hit him in the right circle. Pass isn't good enough for Pasta to launch this. He sees that he's not going to be able to shoot from this position. So he quickly just nudges it into the slot. He might have done this anyway, honestly. But Zacha is all alone in the slot. And he collects, he shovels this on net. Nedeljkovic gets 78% of this puck, and it still finds its way in. 5-1, your final score. Game notes of an excellent ass-kicking. If you were worried about how Ullmark would perform after supposedly having to nix a trade to the Kings, don't be. Clearly, he's going to be just fine. He's a professional. And even after the game when Swayman hugged him, Swayman pointed to the B in the middle. That's great. Because you want players who want to be here. Does Ullmark feel any allegiance to Sweeney or the franchise right now? Maybe not. But he does like being in Boston. He likes being in that locker room. He likes working with Jeremy Swayman. That's good enough for me, man. I'd have my feelings a little hurt too, but it's a business. He knows that. You can have your feelings hurt and still know it's a business. Some of you have feelings hurt just by the idea of trading Ullmark. That's totally fine. Everyone gets to take a deep breath. Ullmark's going to be fine. Another game note. Zacha, Geeky, and Jakey are all getting hot at the same time. Of course we roll. Of course we ball. We talked ad nauseum about how everyone going cold at the same time sinks this team. What a stupid statement. Obviously. No, I mean these players that are... We talk about players being streaky, but we did collect a bunch of guys that when they're hot, they're excellent. But when they're not, leaving DeBrusk out of this, because when DeBrusk is not hot, he's still very serviceable in a lot of ways. But Geeky becomes a very not great player when he's not feeling it. JVR becomes just a full negative when he's not feeling it. Players like that. Well, guess what? The players are almost all of them are getting hot at the same time. If this continues for a few games, we win a few more games in a row. When everyone's feeling it like that, it's gonna go great. How long can it last? Who knows? Who cares? Let's just pray forever. Excellent having everyone kind of hitting on all cylinders at the same time. The third period shells, another game note, all but disappeared. Sure, the Penguins started the period hot and they forced some pressure and they probably got the better of the chances in the third period. But that's a team pushing for their lives here. I didn't feel like the Bruins went in a shell. I didn't feel like they turtled at all. I feel like they continued to push, continued to attack. So not really a concerning third for me at all. And the more the camera cuts over to Monty on the bench, I think it's pretty clear that he is, anytime he sees someone not playing their game the way they played the last 40 minutes, it feels like his eyes are burning through them. Every time. There's a moment where I go, oh, that was really cautious. Like, the next time I see Monty look at that player on the bench, full eyes. Like, I just love it. I think if I'm going to crush Monty for not fixing an issue and then the issue's fixed, how about I praise him now? Because it seems like he's got this team focused in the third period. And then the last game note is Lohrei, who I kind of went on this whole thing about I'm losing a little bit of faith in Lohrei being responsible enough for playoff hockey this year. And although I haven't 180'd on that, of course, that'd be really quick to 180 on a decision, played an excellent, quiet, simple game. He didn't overextend in a third pairing role. He played very responsibly. That's what's going to keep him in the lineup. I don't want to take away those moments where he creates offensively. He's going to get better at choosing those moments. They just cannot happen when he's the last guy back on the blue line. I didn't see any of that. And in fact, his breakout passes were clean. After the first 10 minutes. His breakout passes were clean. They were fluent. He was opening up lanes for people with his hesitations, with his sight, looking people off. Thought it was excellent. A really good game by him, and the type of game that makes you go, oh, hold on, I'm being a little too harsh here. There's something. If he continues to grow that way, maybe he does start game one. He's got to have that responsibility factor, though. He has to, for me to trust him in a playoff series right now, even with all the upside elsewhere. I think that's it. Go Bees. Go Bees! Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, but it is time to give a shout out to our high quality inspectors. We've got our top line tier inspectors. We got Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, the Bugman, the Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Brett Arney, Pinsen, and Nick Citrullo. Thank you guys so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. And of course, massive props to these absolute stallions, the all-star tier inspectors. We have Bruins Smash, Jason Ozzy, Bruin Connolly, Hyle E. Coyote, Adam Ella, Jonathan Harvey, Joel, Abraxion, Jacob Pratt, Tupton D. Tashi, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. You guys are absolute studs. I can't thank you enough, and go Bees.